We're coming down to 15 seconds, 20 seconds. I like the YouTube music. I like to dance on it a little bit. So the YouTube anyway, being silly now. Our YouTube is coming on. 2, 3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone. Thank you everybody. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you, our welcome team today. Thank you, Queen Nadu, for welcoming everybody. Thank you for stepping in as always. And today we're here at the gym team again. Our CEO came out yesterday, Mr. Ashmushwara, and hopefully we'll have some updates. Right? So direction. We'll wait for that time to come. But before we continue our webinar, we always want to start with our signature tune. We'll start with our signature tune. And
please mute. Thanks.
We'll start with our signature tune and for some housekeeping, we'll take the mic off everybody, not because we don't want you to speak, but because we want to hear each other. Sometimes we have a phone call and Zoom will automatically unmute your mic. So we'll just take the mic off, and when it comes to Q&A, everybody will have the time to speak. Without further ado, I'm going to ask my brother, King Derek. Oh my goodness. Do you know he's a real man? I had to touch him in the flesh. But I'll leave that for when we have to question discussion time. King Dr. D, can you play our signature tune, please? Thank you.
We are Your next stop is Impassive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yes, we are in it to win it. I love this song because it reminds us that everybody's a winner. It doesn't matter. We're all winners. As long as we are engaged, you're going to win. And as I said, we'll get the updates for those that miss it from when the right time comes. If we hear our CEO say want to fall like a mango, not a peach. I think because one is softer, right? Peach, you fall, you just get rot quick. Mango is a little bit resilient. I think that's what the analogy means. So if you see, we have done more than 500 webinars and counting. I want to thank all of you present and all the coordinators. It's true because of you that we're still here, trying to educate ourselves and trying to stay engaged for the next phase, for the next project. We're staying engaged for the next phase, for the next project. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, while we are going through this season of perceived wait, because when people are thinking it's waiting, right? Let's get ourselves educated and let's remind ourselves that as long as you are in it, you're going to win it. And let's stay with that mindset and let's stay with that motto. That's what brought me in Impassive to bring my whole family, because we became a family. And after 5 years plus, we are family. We have visited each other. We've shared meals with each other in person. We've slept in each other's house in person. I don't consider ourselves being strangers anymore. I consider ourselves being one big family. Let's continue with that and continue with love. I will not take your time because I know our word for today is going to be, I don't know, let me just keep it. So I'll pass it over to our moderators for today. Let me shut my mouth. Over to you, Queen, Sister Debbie McCormick and team. Take it over.
Thank you so much, Sister P. You really have the colors, every shade of it represented.
My shade of many colors.
A good day. A very good Sunday. It's so good to have you back. And it's good that all the prayers have put a huge smile on your face. And this family is a family in which if you are here, no matter what you go through, you come back here, we put smiles on each one of us' face. That's what family is. One is down, you keep praying and asking for the uplifting of that individual. Welcome back and welcome to your smile again once more. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Derek, for the images and that lovely nonverbal communication, which in Need to Win It did share with us. And we have to listen for the mindset of the day. And the speaker is none other than the voice we just listened to, my sister, who is a global person like all of us are. And you can tell from the map that she has behind, it's a global world. And we are a global family. And everywhere we go. Did you hear me talk to Mama Edith in
So true. You were busy speaking to Dumela Mama. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So then she said, Dumela, I will see. Yeah, she also answered me back, Dumela, I will see. I said, oh, okay, all right. That is my mommy, my auntie, my sister. It does not matter whether I've ever met her. When I heard where she was, I said, okay. If I don't remember any Sisutu, I have to remember because of my mommy. So this is a global family. Our sister here has been blessing us for this last 5 years with very, very encouraging words. And if you have missed it, you are here to receive the best of them all because she has a brighter color on her today. Lord, she's going to pound it. Queen Sister Lerato, the microphone is yours, darling. You look lovely, by the way.
Thank you, sis. The colors, right? I was like, I have a flag here behind me. I was like, we are all nations coming together and showing that unity is actually power. When we are together in love, there's nothing that we can't do. So thank you, sis. And Dumela Luena Hape Ausi. So now, since you decided to speak Sotho, I'm just going to speak Sotho with you only. It was really nice hearing you say that. So I just want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you for this opportunity to be given to just speak into, this is for me when I come here, it's me sharing my thoughts and just brainstorming with everybody and just sharing my thoughts and everything and my heart as well. So yeah, so and I'm really, really, really grateful to be afforded that opportunity, because iron sharpens irons. As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself as well. And I'm reminding myself and you're reinforcing my belief system and all these things that we talk about every time. So, and before I even go any further, I have to say, I want to thank the creator for being here. Today is another opportunity for me to choose to love well, to choose to live well, to choose life and everything that supports life. So I'm so grateful to be here. I don't take anything for granted. I don't take any minute for granted. So any minute that I'm given, I ask myself, what can I pour into this time? What is it that, how do I present myself for this time? Of course, we go through days where we feel a little bit down, but I don't allow myself to be down too long, because I feel like for me, it's time wasted. I could be investing that time in positivity, and not only just positivity by trend, but living in the light. That's what for me, I've decided for myself that I'm living for the light. And this is what I'm going to talk about today. Specifically, the being aligned. And we spoke about this last week. I just made a quick recap of everything that we've been talking about over the weeks, and to say, we have to agree with life, and it's a choice. Everything is a choice. And I remember I was listening to a scripture today. I was listening to a scripture that talked about choosing between life and death. I mean, we are presented with two choices in this life, and what we align with then will determine the outcome of how our lives will be, right? And everything is mind, right? Our mindset is everything. Right. And everything that we do on this planet is shaped by the activity of our mind, our mindset. Everything that we believe, everything we choose to bring into our consciousness, it supports only two laws: the law of life or the law of death. And the Bible says it very clearly. It's like, I present to you this day two things, either life or death, right? So when we were talking about alignment last week, I said, yes, everything that we do now has to align with our choices. And what is it that you choose, right? Life for me is prosperity. Life for me is growth. Life for me is love. Life for me is everything that supports light, right? That agrees with God, that agrees with life, right? So being aligned with that means that all my choices has to continually support that choice that I've made, which is the law of life. Right. So of course, I mean, we are human beings, and we have different experiences on this planet. But I love one thing that somebody said, is that it's not what happens to us, is how we choose to react when those things happen. Because we can either choose to be in doom and gloom and darkness forever and ever, or you look at the experience. I'm not saying don't feel your feelings. I'm not saying don't look at the situation, but we look at these things that happen. And even in that, we still have a choice. We still have a choice. Even when things are not going our way, we still have a choice, right? So we can still either still agree with life, or just go on another trajectory and start agreeing with what doesn't support life. So our thought life is very, very important. And so everything that we do has to be in alignment, right, with the perfect law. It has to be in harmony with the law of life. Or if you choose another one, then you go that way. But you have to be very diligent and very adamant about your choices and what you choose to align yourself with. Right. So it's worth mentioning again, because I was listening to Mr. Esh talking, I went through the recap of the talk that he had. And one thing that popped out for me was, he said there'll be many updates, but you have to be mentally ready to accept the changes. He talked about mental readiness, to tell you that everything that your preparedness, how you handle things comes first from your mind. Your mindset means everything. Other people will see the changes and they'll be falling apart. It's not what we signed up for. It's gonna be drama, right? If when he comes back and he reveals the plans to us, and it's not exactly initially what it was at the beginning, many people are gonna fall apart. Many people are gonna say things. We're gonna hear, outbursts and different things happening. And I think it was worthwhile mentioning to him to say, guys, your mental, your readiness, how you prepare your mind for this journey, it's important. It's everything. How you prepare yourself for success, this journey. We know that the end goal is for us to prosper, but the middle, we don't know. The battles that we're facing right now, we don't know. It's the same thing as our walk with God or our life as well. We know we want well. We know that, from point A to point B, we know we want to get to success. We want to get to everything else, all this manifestation of everything good that we want. But the middle, you can never anticipate, but your mental readiness will determine everything, how you react to all the things that are happening in the middle. Other people were not prepared for this. People thought that they're joining on passive. Tomorrow they're millionaires. There's not going to be a journey. Things won't happen. They thought that it's going to just be A to B and that's it. Yes, I mean, we've sat here in meetings when Mr. Ash will mention to us, yes, we're going to do this next week. And sometimes it wouldn't happen, but we didn't know the battle. We didn't know that the battle and the challenges that the company was facing then, which is still going to be revealed to us if it does get revealed. But people didn't know that it was going to be a journey. Even in his talk, he mentioned Elon Musk, about the rocket launch of Elon Musk. I mean, I don't want to say all the updates, but he mentioned that of course, all of us, when we go to something, we go only looking at the results. Not many people are prepared for the journey in between. Not many people we just go in with like, I'm going to go here, babe, blah, from point A to point B. Like you leave your house, I'm going to shopping at this shop. You're thinking about the shop, but you don't know the journey in between. You don't know that you're going to meet traffic. You don't know how long you're going to, sometimes you're going to be stuck in traffic for how long. You don't know that. You don't know before you even get to the store. Maybe there's something happening in the front of the store. You won't be able to come in at the time that you want to come in. We don't know the journey. We know that yes, we're intending to go from point A to point B, but not many people are prepared for the journey and what it brings. And so that's why I said that we have to be aligned with life. But then when your alignment is supporting life and you choose life, it's going to be easy for us because we're going to be able to dust ourselves off and say that the end goal here is we are making it. There's nothing else. I mean, if our mindset is about prosperity, if our mindset is life, then it can't help but manifest what we want. Life has to bring what we want, what our desire. It has to come to pass because we agree with that. We agree with that law. And then the law has to function and work for us as well. That's the law. It has to work for us too. The same thing as faith. You cannot have faith and not have results. Like how? You understand? So when I talk about laws, there are certain things laws that when they're activated, they can't do nothing but produce results. They have to produce results. We cannot be agreeing with life and then life doesn't manifest itself in our lives. It cannot be. Then the whole thing is a lie then. Right? We cannot believe in light and light doesn't manifest in our lives. We cannot believe all these things unless there's doubt. You remember when I spoke about doubt, when we now talked about doubt and when sometimes we are wishy-washy, you believe this and then the next minute you change your mind. Those are the things then that will affect or maybe shape or change a little bit of your results. But when you are wholeheartedly agreeing with life and give yourself to life, right? And you agree with life and you're totally in alignment with life, light has to manifest. How is it not going to manifest? How is the law of life not going to be activated in your life? How? Right? There are laws, guys, that are guiding the universe or that got put in place in this universe. And there's no way. The law of gravity, I don't care what you do. You can't climb a 10-story building and throw yourself down and then just float. No, the law of gravity will be activated unless the law of aerodynamics comes in and cancels out that. Then that's something different. But there has to be another law that comes and cancels out the law of gravity. But the universe is put it's set up in a way that there are laws that govern everything. And when we obey the law and we function within those laws, they have no choice but to manifest and become what they're supposed to be. Like the results has to come. And this is also one thing that I was observing for the time that I've been on passive and I've observed Mr. Ash, how he speaks. I don't care how ugly things are. I don't care how hard they are. there is always light that comes out of him. When he speaks, he says, but things might be this, but we are making it. There's never a time that he will contradict himself. It's like, okay, let's give up, guys. Let's just pack our boxes or whatever. There's always says, of course, the fight is going to be hard. None of us know how we're going to react. If all of us were in that position, we can't guarantee how we were going to act. None of us can say, you know what, if I was in that position, I was going to act like this, blah, 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 right? So we can't guarantee how we're going to act. But me watching him react the way that he does, I know that whatever he shapes his life with, it has to agree with light. Because he's consistent with that. He's consistent with that. He said, the last thing that he says, that nothing will affect our dream that we and I are waiting for. Nothing. We're waiting for it. Nothing can stop it. If God called it, it has to manifest because we are agreeing with light. We want to see this come into my full manifestation, and we're working, we're doing what needs to be done for the manifestation to happen. We keep on agreeing with it. Yes, the journey is hard. We can't predict. I mean, there's this thing with the court case that has been going on, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we cannot control those things, right? In reality, we can't control those things. I remember there was a court case in my family with somebody, people doing business and blah, blah, blah. And people took money, like the situation that we're in. That case took forever to resolve. And nobody could predict when it was going to happen. But, there are certain things that are out of his hands, which for me, when I watch him, I'm like, dude, like the way he holds himself up, what he keeps on declaring, whatever he keeps on saying, it's still in alignment to the dream that he's dedicated to. He doesn't change his mind, right? So alignment is very important, guys. And going back to what I said we have a choice. All of us here have a choice. And our choices is that what do I align myself with? What do I agree with? Some of us, maybe the dream won't be, we're still waiting. Dr. Patience, that while we're still waiting, because we already had already made up our mind that we're going to succeed, our success may come in other ways. There might be another flow that will come in other ways. Our success will come other ways, or whatever prosperity that we're looking for will manifest in every other place in our lives. There's no other way that it can't be. Like everything has to manifest prosperity because we are in alignment with that. So in everything that we do, our everyday expression of life has to give the evidence of what we believe or what we chose and what we choose to align with. It has to give evidence. There has to be evidence. In small wins, we call them small wins. Sometimes you're going through things and might not be only on passive. You might be going through challenges at work. You might be going through things in your family. But because you align with light, you align with life, that situation will be dissolved and you'll find yourself having victory over fights that otherwise you wouldn't have victory over had your mindset not being the mindset that is aligning with light and aligning with good. Because we attract whom we are, not what we want. We attract who we are. So when we live our lives deliberately supporting life and agreeing with life, then we have victory in other ways, or things start opening for us and agreeing with light. Light comes in other ways as well, right? There might be small things that we've been looking for. Other people are looking for love. Other people are looking for acceptance. Other people are looking for peace. Many of us here, there's so many things in our lives that we want, apart from wealth or money, the currency or whatever. There are other things that we're looking for, the other wealth that we're looking for. Some of us it's peace. Some of us it's just love, having love surrounding you, having peace with your family, the family just being in peace with each other. I know families who can't stand each other, and that thing becomes like a cancer. That people are just, it's not beautiful to like people, it's not nice to be in those families. So their lives every day is just survival. You're just in trauma. You're just like every day you're thinking, okay, who's going to come up with a fight? You always have to be ready for a fight, which is not a way to live. So some people here, their wealth is peace and family, just no conflict, right? So for some people, it's like to find their life partner, somebody that, will support you, somebody that will support their life or the lifestyle that we're choosing, which is the lifestyle of peace and love and good. We are agreeing with good. Some people are looking for that. And so when we are now consciously choosing that every day, there's no way light is not going to come in, guys. Some of us here, our work situations are not nice. Maybe your colleagues are not nice. You're looking for that peace at work because that's how you express yourself. You love your job, but you don't like the environment. It's toxic. And so when we start agreeing with light, you'll start seeing changes. You're going to start having victories in areas where you didn't even anticipate that you will have peace. Not only monetary, what we're waiting for money. Yes, money is good. It's wonderful. We need money, you know, but there are other victories every day that we can't overlook. Just because there's one goal or one thing, we can't just afford to just have just one focus on one thing and ignore everything else that is happening in our lives that is good and miraculous, beautiful miracles that are happening every day that are supporting life. All right. Some of us, it's health. We want to be in perfect health so we can enjoy the wealth, because actually, well, health is wealth. You might be looking for money, but if you're not healthy, nothing means anything. If you're not healthy, you're not going to enjoy anything, guys. There's no way. There's no way you can enjoy anything. So some of us is like, Lord, I want a sound mind, a sound body. This is where I'm agreeing. I'm doing everything, me physically, I'm making decisions every day that supports that. I'm choosing to eat healthy. I'm choosing to, you know, Sister Irene came here, spoke about health and all these things. So we're consciously now choosing what supports life, also for our bodies, right? So that alignment isn't everything. It is not only alignment is some esoteric idea, but alignment means that your choices, also physical choices that you make, has to agree with life. It has to agree with life so that life will manifest in every aspect of our life. It will just start blooming out from inside out. Because when we are in alignment, we don't live from outside in, we live from inside out, right? We live from inside out, guys. Everything starts from within, and then now we spew that thing out. Life has to start from within and it has to come out. So we live from inside out, right? So it's very important that now we align. We question ourselves every time. It's like, are my thoughts aligning with good? Okay, today, this is the day that I'm having. How am I reacting to it? What am I reacting to here? One last thing that I wanted to mention, you know, a lot of people were doing doom and gloom. Oh, we waited forever and ever, la la. Mr. Ash said something that actually, it shook me because I thought about it. I put it in perspective. He said, you know, can you imagine, guys, if we started selling our product and we started selling in 2023 and we sold 100 million, that 100 million would have been, he said, 2 billion, right? So can you imagine if we had lost that 2 billion by now? And we have this thing that is happening right now, and that much money was taken from all of us, 2 billion. What would we be saying by now? What would be say? I mean, that is colossal, right? None of us can imagine that. Oh my God, wow! How would we have, you know, what would we have said if that was going to be the results, that we've lost something so big? So sometimes, you know, when we think it's delay, it's not actually delay. It's protection. It's protection, guys. I look at it that my perspective is that we are not delayed. God is protecting us, removing and sieving things, or things are weeded out that would otherwise would have been a big stumbling block to our dreams. Would have been, you know, we would be in a position where we have to even fight bigger giants than what we are facing right now. We would have to fight something bigger than what we are facing right now. So it was protection. So of course, when things happen, like I said, we want to go from point A to point B, but we don't know the battles in between. And some of the things that happen in the middle, it's protection. It's protection, guys. It's not delay, it's protection. All right. So one last story that I want to say, I was looking at the thread on Instagram, and somebody was talking about, you know, guardian angels and whatever. I like those stories of guardian angels or whatever. So somebody said that for them, they were supposed to leave a house at a specific time, but things kept on delaying. They were supposed to leave, and then when they're trying to leave, the dog left. Now they had to chase their dog. You know, things just started happening, just delaying them and everything. And when they finally left the house and they were on the road, there was a huge accident. Like, it was the kind of accident that she knew that she would have been at that point at that time, because she you know, she works with time, and she knew that had she been at that point, there was no way she was not going to survive. She would have been dead. But things had to happen to hold her back, to protect her from being at that point at that time. So perception is everything, guys. As much as we sit here and say, oh, things didn't happen like this, he said this, la, 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 your perspective, you know, our perception is very important. How we think of things, how we process them is very important, right? That's why I'm going to say again, whatever that we're doing here is not delay, guys. It's protection. I can't imagine us losing 2 billion. Like, that is just, I can't even fathom that. I'm like, how? Were we gonna all sit here had we lost 2 billion of our money, because it's our money? That's our money. We would be sitting here talking like this and smiling like this. Now we can sit here. Yes, things are happening, but we can sit here. Yes, money was stolen, or things were. I mean, Mr. Ash already revealed all that. It's not a secret, but it's something that we can handle. But I don't think all of us would be able to handle losing 2 billion or even more. That would be devastating. So delay is not denial, and it's also protection. You have to set your mind in a way that you know that as long as you are agreeing with light and you are in alignment with and you're agreeing with good and God, things will work out. They have to manifest. Everything good has to manifest in our lives. And how it manifests and when it manifests is none of our business. That's God's business. But we just have to keep ourselves straight here mentally to know that everything works together for good for us. It works together for good. We are always winning, guys. Even if we don't see it, we are always winning. When you are in light, you are on the winning side. You can't lose. You can't lose. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that we cannot lose. As long as we agree with life, with God and with good, we can never, ever lose. We can't lose, right? So in case somebody didn't tell you that they love you, guys, I want to tell you that I love you so much. And I'm so, so, so grateful to be here and to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Queen Sister Lerato. We love you unconditionally, right? And that smile, we're going to remember it, think about it, share messages, and look forward to seeing you again and listen to you when you speak. And when you speak, it's like spellbound. I just listen and I could never get enough. The way you explain the law of life and the pear and mango comparison that our CEO shared yesterday, it just flows together, because you added that we have to be aligned with life, and some people do not see that. He talks in parables, yeah. And a lot of people did not see what he meant by comparing the mango and the tree, or even talking about the SpaceX and all of those things. A lot of people didn't. In the beginning, I didn't understand, but towards the end, I said, "Oh, now that's what he was referring to." And yes, you just said the same thing about, our dreams has to be aligned with what we anticipate. You dream of something, but you'd have to make it happen while nature takes its course as well. And destiny, like the person who avoided that accident. Yeah, those are all lovely things. And again, for health, we're healthy and we're here. So we have to start from inside out. So hopefully Sister Irene will come back and add more things about health. So we feel that what we're feeling inside has to be also, I think Queen JW talks about the inside, and that inside part of it is what leads to the external aspect. And we should also remember that it's important to look out for one another. We don't see you. If you don't see somebody that we know in this forum, please reach out to them, because we just learned yesterday that some of the people who work here with us, when we don't see them, we did not know they were involved in a car accident, in the hospital. So let's always check out people that we know and we have their contacts. When we don't see them, just say, "Oh, we haven't seen you in a while. Is everything okay?" Yes, and that's important, because mentally, it helps that person to think that, yes, we're a global family here. We do care. And yes, we do care. Thank you so much, Sister Lerato. Thank you with that beautiful angelic voice that God has blessed you with, and you share your time with us. And I see Queen Dr. Benny is here. Welcome, sis. We appreciate having you, as we're going to look at another beautiful sister of ours that is going to speak in the name of Queen Kanla. And she has an amazing topic to share with us today: unconscious bias. Queen Kanla, we don't even need to introduce you. We know you're She would either call you Queen Kanla, Queen Rachel, or Rahel, depending on what mom and dad prefer, and depending on what you prefer. So Queen Rahel, Queen Kanla, that beautiful smile you have, you are so diverse. Anything you can accomplish, it does not matter what it is, the challenges, you always, whatever it is, they put it at you, you just grab it and you run away and you deliver. Thank you so much, Queen Kanla. We appreciate you, and your personality speaks for itself, volumes and volumes by itself. Please, the microphone is yours and we all ears. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Sister Debbie, for the opportunity. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. Welcome, welcome, Dream Team. Welcome, everyone. If you're listening on YouTube and if you're here with the Zoom, it's another day for us to have a beautiful, insightful conversation. And who else could have put us on already the path than our sister Lerato? Thank you for that beautiful mindset. And it just fits right into what the topic is for today, unconscious bias. We've heard about the mindset, the alignment of our life with light to claim our success. Where does that come from? Deep in our consciences, in our mind. And so I feel like my topic today is a continuation of that self-reflection of our mindset in those aspects where we are not even aware that we have them, but they are there. Some we are aware, some we are not. And also, given what our company is going on right now, we will hear more details during the update. Our sister Lerato has already used some examples. So I will ask you to continue keeping that mindset as we explore this theme of unconscious bias. Personally, in your life, in your family, and around your work environment and the community at large. So, thank you. Let me share my slide at this point, and please, Sister Debbie, let me know when you see it come up.
Yeah, you can see your screen, sis.
Okay, the full slide or the presenter's view?
The presenters, wait, yeah, the full.
Okay, all right, that is great. So, thank you, sis. As we dive into the topic of unconscious bias, I know many of us are like, okay, unconscious bias, what perspective, what direction, what will be some examples? Yes, it's intriguing, it's exciting. You want to know. So, what do we actually want to look at? And in your mind, in your brain, what do you think unconscious bias means? Because our conversation is not that we do not have unconscious bias, or we can say some biases. The right question we should be asking is, or are, which are yours, which are mine? Because we are inherently, as humans, born with bias.
Sister Kanla,
Yes.
Can you put it in presentation mode, please? Because you have 2 screens now.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in the presenters. Okay, let me do that right away. Which of them do you see?
Or maybe, okay, you have the unconscious bias, the first slide, and then you have another one which is next to it.
Okay, no, then the first one was correct. This is...
You had the presenter mode before. Now this is speaker mode. Speaker mode. Put it back on the notes.
Okay.
Speech.
No.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. I'm not seeing my slide. Just please bear with me. Okay. 2. Okay. All right. Then that is good. The slide. Yes. Okay. Let me do this slideshow. Okay.
Can I just switch the screen? Show the other screen, please. Switch the display. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we are good now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. That's great. Okay. Thank you. All right. So going back to the question I was asking, that as humans born in God's image, unique, as diversified as we are, the question is not that, do you have bias? Are you aware of bias, or have you experienced bias? Have you seen bias, an aspect of it in one shape or form? But the right question we should be asking is, which are yours? Which of them do you identify with? Some consciously, some unconsciously. And so if we look at the definition of what unconscious bias is, these are assumptions, these are beliefs, these are attitudes that influence our daily lives, at home, at work, in the community, when we interact with each other, the way we think, the way we have rebuilt relationships, how you do things, how you perceive and assume things. Our sister Lerato made mention of that. Now, are you beginning to see that there are some things that when they become a pattern and yet you are blinded to it or you are not aware because you don't know and you don't know what you don't know? And so all the more reason why this topic is very relevant at this point in time, not only for educational purposes, but also as we continue in our journey with our company and with our CEO, Mr. Ash Mofare. Sometimes these different ways or shape that we turn to interact with each other may be favorable or unfavorable. We make all these assessments. And if we do not properly address them, they negatively sometimes impact our lives, the person to whom it was directed to, the company, our workplace, culture, and team dynamics. And so every day we put on this mindset of awareness so that it will be able to help us reduce the impact through deliberate attention, awareness, and then a lot of effort in overcoming these unconscious biases that we have. Now, I know I'm not going to ask anybody to raise their hand to say something, or don't worry, I'm not going to do that because I know this is something that may be sensitive to some people. This may be something that you are not aware of, and not everybody is comfortable talking about it. But again, it's more of introspective, a self-reflection. For those who already know, how much deeper can you know to be aware? If you do not know, this is the learning opportunity for you to become aware. Now that we know the definition of or the meaning of unconscious bias, how much do you know about the different forms, the shapes it takes that we experience in our lives? Sometimes through gender, through our race, through age, weight, beauty, conformation, halo, stereotype. Some of us are fully aware, and this list is not even conclusive. There is a lot out there. And all of this comes from truly who we are. We did not choose to be born who we are. Our culture, our diversity, our backgrounds, how we were raised plays a role in how it shapes some of these unconscious biases that are inbuilt in us. Some are learned as we grow up. Now, let's take a little bit of time. I'm not going to explain each one because the list is long, but you can always go back later on and you look at what we have here and take time to explore more for yourself. But just so we have an idea of some that are out there. Age bias. I want to believe there are many of us here who have maybe at your job, within the community, and you feel unwelcome, or you feel that you do not belong because you're being discriminated or you're being stereotyped because of your age. The older you become, or when you're too young, it says you're too young. The excuse is you're too young. And then when you're older, it says you're too old. But sometimes I'm not saying in all circumstances that when this statement is made, it is bias. Now, in the context in which it is made, your conscience, your mind will tell you. You can clearly define when and if it is bias or not. So I use that. The example here is 60% of workers age 40 and older, they are passed over at work for younger workers. Is the reason that they are not competent or they are not good at their job? No. So where is the root of that bias? And why is that bias coming on? Name. Those of us who have cultural names, because we were born from a different culture, Western names versus tribal names, they sound different. They mean something different. Or some names do not even mean anything. There are some names that when you are given that name, it comes with reverence. It is a story. And yet, for some reason, we have these biases where someone turns a blind eye or someone is insensitive and intentionally refuses to make right by your name, the right way, the proper way. Language is the same. Sometimes you're made fun of because of your name or your language or your ethnic background. Your gender, of course, there are many. No matter your sexuality, at some point in time, you experience this bias. Others that I just want to emphasize on a little bit, the halo effect bias. Have you ever had the time where you realize you have to catch yourself and see that you have positive impression of some people, and then you have negative impression of some people, and you've asked yourself why, and you cannot come up with an answer why? But when you search your mind, when you reflect deep, sometimes because you do that spontaneously, sometimes you are not even aware of, because somebody next to you that you already have a positive impression of them, they said it, and so you just go along. Or someone that has a negative impression of them, they said it, and then you just go along. That is the difference between halo effect bias and Horn's effect bias. You just look at someone, they are Black, they are tall, their character trait, their personality, man, woman, and then we, in our mind, in our subconscious mind, the brain immediately goes into that bias mood, and influenced by your background, your upbringing, the influence around you, the people you talk to, your social circles, and what you know.
Kanla, unmute yourself.
You're
please.
muted.
Did someone unmute me? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to unmute Queen Debbie and then click on your name.
Okay, all right. So where did I stop so I can?
I believe just continue with the halo effect.
Okay, yes. So I explained the halo effect is the opposite of the Hans effect, where your positive impression about someone influences you in those different ways. How you interact, the way you think, how you assume things at work and at home. Meanwhile, the Hans effect is the negative impression that influences you. Some because of the way you were brought, some because of your culture, but also the influence around you. And then I was talking about affinity bias. This comes as a tendency because you share similar things with certain people and background and their experiences. And then you fail to see, you fail to think, you fail to know. And when you have not experienced or participated in other people's experiences, then this comes out unconsciously without you even knowing. Now, talking about evaluating the performance of others, how many of us have unconsciously evaluated someone without you even having an idea of who they are, what they are, or even what they did? You just have a look at somebody and you evaluate them, whether at home or at work, or how even at home as children, you see your between siblings. You evaluate each other, what I'm good at, what you are not good at. I am better, you are not better. We see that around us. Then religious bias, I know many of us have that. We have seen it. Sometimes you just feel it. Sometimes it doesn't even need to be said because when it is wrong, it is wrong. Or when you feel uncomfortable when it actually happens around you or closer to you. Your mindset kicks in sometimes and reminds you there is something just not right. And again, you do not know what you do not know. Because this is based on our subjective interpretations and assessments of these aspects of our life, whether at home or at work or out into the community. Our relationships. Or how to you define success. The way you define success is not how someone defines success. And then you put that in your mind and you use that, not realizing that it comes across unconsciously, you being biased to someone who does not interpret success, who does not interpret abundance, who does not interpret what our sister Lerato said today, aligning our lives with light, our dreams. Your dream may be big, your dream may be small. How you align yourself to it is up to you. How you make it happen, how you achieve it, how you get there. And so no one should be non-appreciative or try to make it feel like if it is not my way, then your way doesn't work. You're being biased and you're doing that consciously and unconsciously because there is no one way to do things and no one method is absolutely right. We continue. Contrast bias. This was clearly, we saw it with our CEO and the updates. You make judgment by making comparisons. Does this resonate with all of us here? Right from the mouth of our CEO. Our sister Lerato also made mention. The comparison, using the examples of the SpaceX, and even to me, for those who know of the book Things Fall Apart, that has been in on my mind since the update of yesterday. How you compare things without you knowing the in-depth of it, and yet you are doing that unconsciously because you do not know what you do not know. Status quo, again, back to what we heard, or for those who have not heard, I hope you go back and listen. The preference, you want things to remain as they are. Some of us don't like change. We are resistant to change. And if the change is not what we want, then what do? That doubt, the self-doubt. When you start failing to align yourself with the initial dream, or with that light, or with that life, or with what we started in our own passive, what it was, then you find yourself expressing some of these things unconsciously. I will go to the last one, which is the affect heuristic bias, your emotions. The emotions that have been invested in this. What level of emotions do you invest to make the decisions? And do you realize that some of those emotions are actually what makes you to develop or start having some of these biases in you? You lose objectivity. You lose to see the clear picture, or you lose to understand even when you don't get it. It's not everything that you need to get it, or it's not everything that you need to align. Sometimes if you don't get it, if it doesn't align with you, sometimes you just have to appreciate. Sometimes you just have to listen and not allow the unconscious bias to creep in and take over your emotions. There are many more, but eventually we will do this in more than one series where we can come back and we pick each of those, or maybe combine 2 or 3, and we can have an in-depth conversation about them. And then we relate them to real life experiences. So at this time, I would just like us to, each of us here present, please feel comfortable, be open, just think in your mind, write down a word or words that you can think that can be associated or connected to unconscious bias. I have a few on the slide, but if you don't see what I have written here just as example, what are some that you can come up with? Please, you can put them in the chat, and Sister Yvonne, you can read them out to me when you see any come in. But meanwhile, I will go ahead and then we continue with the conversation. Or if you think you want to say something also, that is fine. But the questions you should be thinking while you write down the words, as on the slide, where does this bias stem from? Is it in your daily life at home? Is it at workplace? How does it influence some of the decisions you make? And what are some of the common ones that you experience? And how can you reduce this? For the purposes of our presentation, I'm going to talk on two as examples. Let's look at personality. Think of in a household, and this is also applicable at your job. In a household, you have 3 to 4 children. It doesn't matter whether they are biological or not, but you have siblings. At work, you have 3 colleagues. One is the cheerful goer, the person who talks aloud, who is upfront, who sees and says something and does what they need to do, and they are upgoing, who will jump up and say high five. That is who they are. That is their personality. And then the other child is the quiet, who doesn't speak, who keeps to themselves, but yet they are as intelligent, they are as loved as their brother or their sister who is outgoing and talking, and they also work very hard. And the third, who you can say has phobia, whether of light, whether of sound, or whether of loudness. You're just afraid. And so you tend to retreat. That is who you are. That is your personality. And how you compensate for that is, for men, they tend to put their hands in their pockets, tight to themselves. For women, you see either always, or girls feeling just secluding themselves in one place. Now, let's put on the unconscious bias hat, whether at home or at work. The tendency is we are quick to acknowledge and be aware of the person who is open, outgoing, talk, and we see them, we hear them. They are always there in front of you. But then you start questioning the person who is quiet, or you start having doubt, or you start thinking, what could possibly be wrong with them? What is it they are not doing, or what is it they are hiding? And in some cases, you even take it to the extent where you draw your assumptions, you make your belief, you make conclusions, and you even influence others around you, whether your friends or your colleagues at work, by sharing that, oh, this person is like this is like this is like this. Without taking the time to understand, without taking the time to be objective, without taking the time to get to know them. Did you take the time to know them? And that changes the dynamics of things at home and at work. Let's look at poverty. When the word poverty comes to mind, what do we think? Oh, I think all over, many people will tell you when you hear poverty, you think of Black people, you think of minority, you think of the poor, you think of the disabled. Yes, because of the societal structures, because of the way our society is. Nothing we can do about that. But as humans, our mental mindset, is it always the case? Or how even between tribes? For those of us who come from ethnic groups where we have multiple tribes, where one tribe considers the other one to be wealthy, the other one considers the other tribe to be poor. Based on what? What are some of the criteria that you use to come to the conclusion? But it is based on perception, belief, your assumption or your experiences, your upbringing, where you are, what you were taught, your emotions, and how your life is in comparison with someone else's. And you allow those to be what you think it is. And you start expressing some of these biases towards the other person. And yet it doesn't come across to you as you being biased. I am sure many of us here have other real life stories where we can share them. And I wanted to take this also so I can connect it with some of the conversations or what our CEO outlined with what is going on in our company. And what I could think of is our company on passive, affiliates and users as we are, or as we have been. And as we wait to move forward, whenever our CEO comes back to tell us, are we immune from unconscious bias? Let's take a minute and think about that. Are we immune from unconscious bias? And which are those that we can actually see them playing out with what is happening in our company? We have talked of contrast bias, right? Judgment by making comparison. Status quo, the preference to remain, for things to remain as they were. We are resistant to change. Our emotions, we allowing our emotions when we make decisions to override. Or we rely on the first piece of information that is given us without verifying that where is this information coming from? And that will be the anchor bias. You hold on to what somebody tells you. And we know our CEO has said, if information doesn't come from him and him alone, don't listen to it. We remember the halo effect in the halo effect in comparison with the horns effect, where you have this affiliation of positive impression versus negative impression. And you allow that. In your mind to shape some of these unconscious biases that we have. Affinity, being affiliated to the people around us with all the similarities. And then the idiosyncratic, where we evaluate. I will leave the rest as we will hear during updates with Dr. Derek and the team, but I just wanted us to be able to see that this topic really is relevant today. given the updates we just listened to? And what would be some of those that we can actually be aware of and see for ourselves that is related to our company and on passive? And so I want to leave you with these two quotes as I round up for today's session and the first piece of our topic, unconscious bias. This quote is from the writer Chinua Achebe. Quote, "The white man is very clever. He came quietly and peaceably with his religion. We were amused at his foolishness and allowed him to stay. Now he has won our brothers and our clan can no longer act like one. He has put a knife on the things that held us together and we have fallen apart." Now let us take this quote and reflect and see how we can put it in place of what is happening with our CEO and with the business. And ask ourselves, that knife that has been put on things, which is our unpassive business, that was the glue, that was the golden glue that held us together. And now it is falling apart. Are we going to allow it? And then also Maya Angelou, who says, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may throw me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I will rise. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I will rise." This resonated so much with me after listening to our CEO and how it relates to our actions as affiliates or users or in our different platforms or on passive as a whole, how unconsciously we are participating in this. And so my hope is this will bring some awareness to us. And so we do not allow that unconscious bias to express itself through us, because at the end of the day, our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufare, and the business on passive is here to stay, and they will keep rising. They will fall, or he will fall, he will rise, and we will fall and we will rise with him. And we will not allow our mindset, the unconscious biases that will come, they will not go away, they will be there. But with the awareness that we have, it's going to help us be better. It's going to help us stay in alignment with moving forward wherever we are going. It's going to help us stay in alignment with our own passive family. It's going to help us stay in alignment, embrace the new level that we will be introduced to. The dream remains the same. But if we do not start addressing now moving forward the mindset in our brain, in our heart, then it will only continue tearing us apart. Because again, you do not know what you do not know. But when you know, you can make adjustment to become better. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Kanla. Wow, what an awesome, outstanding presentation you made today, unconscious bias. And in the end, you used two of my favorite authors, Chinua Achebe. There isn't anyone internationally, Africans in diaspora and all scholars know who those two writers are. And they contrast each other because they're male, female, and they lived in different parts of the world, but the ideas are still the same, piercing through everyone's brain. Chinua Achebe is very well, wow. And so is Maya Angelou. Those two, their words, when they speak, they shake everything. And for you to end up with those two quotes from them, with the quotes from the two of them, it sums up your unconscious bias topic and the way you presented everything. We are so blessed that you have the power to put things the way you did it and just analyze it. I tell you, I started writing notes and I decided, you know what, let me just pay attention instead of trying to craft notes because it is her words, it is her presentation. I should be the recipient, and it's very educational. I'm sure there's so many people who have questions for you. What you've stated, every single slide is so unique in itself, and what you've stated in them, I'm hoping that during questions and discussions, the people will shed more light to it. But for now, let me see. I think Dr. Derek is definitely excited because it's questions and discussions. And I see Queen Aisha, who hasn't been around for a while because of her network, is in the house. Welcome, everyone. This is one of the exciting moments of our webinar because it's the time for updates. And during that session, it's based on what had transpired. And this week, the updates is going to be hot like hot pepper. So, Dr. Derek and the updates team, over to you. Yes, Dr. Derek, thanks for asking. He's waving from the other side, having lunch.
Dr. D, can you check your audio to go into YouTube? The people in YouTube say no audio. Yeah, but I can hear you because I'm hearing you in Zoom, but in the YouTube they say no audio. So.
Okay. Yes. Oh, mercy. All right. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you very much. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. Oh, mercy. All right. Wonderful. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. Thank you all very much. I hope you are hearing me now over in YouTube. Thank you very much. Okay. And so I was just saying that the updates have been mostly dealt with by our two favorite persons, Queen Lerato Shadare and Queen Kanla Rahel. Um, by the analogy of the two fruits, he's kind of speaking to us now, mainly. Because, yes, the 52 million, it's a good thing that we didn't continue with charging and charging and charging for on passive or connect, because if he did that, then based on the amount of months that we had Connect for, actually Connect would have been raking in about anywhere about 1 2 billion with a B, not million, billion with a B. And at this time it would be mostly our money, the users' money, that would be turning over and going into the the um, the wallet, and so those persons would have had access to it, and all of that money would have would have been gone, or maybe would have been tied up at the central bank, whatever it is. But there is a God, and because there is a God, evil don't last long. All right. So he's speaking to us basically about the analogy with the two fruits. If you are a fruit that want to leave, just leave. Just leave. Basically, just leave. You don't have to be bashing on passive. Oh, on passive is wicked. On passive, hold on to my money. I spend my big fat $97, and I need it back to leave. No, no, you got it back already. That's the first thing, right? Now, if you did not purchase Connect, you could have withdrawn your $97 because Ash Mufari gave it back. Let me say that again. Ash Mufari in September, I think that's when we got Connect, right? Ash Mufari gave it back to all of us. Now, if you were paying attention, then you would have known that so listen, you cannot have a conversation now about $97. There is no conversation should take place where $97 is concerned. It would be stupidity, basically, on your behalf, if you are now still on the mindset of $97 and you want it back. Stupidity on your behalf. Okay? Because that was already returned. So if you are a fruit, try to be a mango. Drop off the tree, cool. Right? If you have to make noise and splatter all over the ground and nasty up the place, it not paying you, it not making you a better person. Right? You are not going to be a better person for that kind of attitude and that kind of behavior. So please, let us conduct ourselves like persons of integrity, because Ash Mufari is a man of integrity. And that is why one of the next thing he said, that he could have started again. He could have started again. It is not that he can't. He can't start. He can move along. But his integrity is that he need that 30,000 out of that 52,000 that is still in holding. He would like that to be released, and that is through the SEC and the central bank. He would like that to be released so that people that put in for their withdrawal, we can get paid before he moves forward. That's the bottom line. All right. So let us continue to be patient. And also the staff, the other 22 million, so the entire 52 million, that is our money. It's our money, basically. All right. And so he wants to reimburse and pay the staff that work assiduously through that time. But all of that money is tied up. So let us be patient. Let us be patient. Let us be patient. All right. So that everything can work smoothly with respective to where we are concerned. So stop talking about $97. If you want to leave, leave. All right. I am sure that, and you cannot leave now anyway, in the sense that everything is on a hold, including any corrections or updates that you want to make on the website. Right? You can access it, you can look, you can see a few things, right? But you cannot update anything. So stop. People are trying to update their information and update the password and update the this and update the that. And oh my goodness, people, let us be patient. Please, please, let us be patient. Let us be doctor patient. And just be patient. All right? And wait until things, and then just leave if you want to leave. All right? Because you cannot leave now and get back $97 if you did not purchase Organic. Now, if you purchase Organic, your $97 gone. All right? It gone into the purchase that you did for the usage of Organic. All right? So that is in, and $97 basically for 8 months of usage of Organic. So there's no $97 for you who purchase Organic. There's none. All right. Now, if you did not, then quite possible, I know Ashmafar is a man of integrity. So the only way to get that in your pocket is to wait until whatever start back and see what is the direction that will be taken. But for right now, there is no movement that can happen in respective to where unpassive is concerned. So if you're disgruntled by yourself. Leave if you want, be disgruntled if you want. But I believe Ashmufari is a man of integrity and is a man that loves us. And if you don't see that, obviously your brain needs to be rewired. I thank you all very much. I now turn it over to Queen Kanla. Maybe she have some additional updates.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Derek. That is beautifully said. I just want to add this other aspect of the questions that Mr. Ash said has been coming. When is the next step? When is the next step? No. Wait, we are waiting. And he will tell us when that next step is. And also he says, and even if or when he's going to tell us when that next step is, It's not going to be like before. If we are at level 20 or 25, he is going to be talking to us about step 15 or step 10, because he wants to keep that integrity, like Dr. Derek has said. He wants it. His name that is out there. His name and his name is what is out there. He wants to make it right. And he wants nothing more than something that is advanced, more available, affordable, user-friendly, better features, complete, integrated. Isn't that what we all want? So we wait and let him lead. We wait for him to come back and tell us when that next level is. And please don't listen to someone other than Mr. Ash Mufare. If you did not have the opportunity to listen to the updates, please do well to go and listen to him from his own mouth. So that will be all for me, Dr. Derek. And I think I will pass it back to our moderators at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Derek. Thank you again, Queen Kanla. You see, you're wearing your multiple hats. That's what we admire in every leader on this group, everyone here. You can do anything when called on without any advance notice. Queen Sister Dr. P.
Thank all of you. Yes, thank you all. Thank you for all your prayers and support. We're still going through a season as a family, but as a family, you people have showed me that I have a shoulder to cry on. So thank you all for being there. Yes, Dr. D, yes, Queen Kanla, and everybody that has given an update as our CEO came out yesterday. And yes, Dr. D, and he mentioned that they like something about the refund tools. So nothing is actually guaranteed. Business nothing is guaranteed, but it's going to do its very best. I hope I got that right? And he said no updates should come from anybody except from him. From him. So let's stop making stories. When he comes out, let's listen. If we can't, let's ask each other. Let's find where the videos are. Let's listen to him. And yeah, so let's wait. Let's wait for the next phase. And let's wait patiently and wait with love. With love for one another. I will emphasize that again. Let's wait with love for one another. Not with hatred, with love. Yes, Queen, I know we're going to go to Q and D soon. Queen Debbie mentioned that if you don't really see your brother or sister, don't just assume. Reach out. Reach out. I felt bad because maybe because I was in my own storm around March as well. Only to reach out to one of our brother, he almost lost his entire family to a car crash. As Queen Debbie said, we only found that yesterday. So reach out. And just a word of comfort. But God, in his infinite mercy, saved the family. So I am glad to see that they are doing okay. But reach out to each other, people. Let's reach out. 5 years together is not 5 days, it's not 5 months, not 5 seconds. It's a lot of time. As I said earlier when I started, some of us have shared holidays together. We've shared celebration together. We share mourning together. We've shared a meal together. We've prayed together. We cannot be strangers anymore. Thank you, everybody. Queen Lerato, what a mindset today. And Queen Rahel, Rahel, you know, one of the unconscious minds, you said something, and us as parents, I fall into that. I will tell you, because I don't want to like query or banter words with children. I have unconsciously put them in buckets. If I want to do a particular thing, I see myself tending to call one child. If I want to do a particular thing, I see myself tending to call one child. And for the sexual bias, back in most of our culture, this is a man's job, this is a woman's job. We tend to do that unconsciously without even realizing, right? If a mom wants to cook and she's going to the kitchen, unconsciously we call the daughter, the female child. And if the dad wants to go and do a yard work, unconsciously he called the male or the son, right? So yeah, let's this presentations, you don't know, it really helps some of us to really think about these things. So thank you all. I really appreciate everybody. I just wanted to share my own 2 cents. Let's keep moving with love. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister P. We appreciate your input as well. And we're glad that you're back with us. And yes, we're going to continue to reach out to one another if we don't see them regularly. Okay, we're moving on to questions and discussions on the presentation and the updates. This is the right time for it, and we have a team that will be assisting us with that. So over to you guys. We love you and thank you so much for all you do on a weekly basis.
Okay, are we back to Queen Kanla?
Dr. Benny, Queen Aisha, I see you guys. Yeah.
Okay, are we back to Queen Kanla, or are we? Dr. Benny is going to be available, or Queen? Who is taking this part?
Dr. Benny has already unmuted, and
okay.
I see.
All right. Okay.
Sister Aisha is also in the house as well.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Happy Sunday, happy new month, and I will say greetings to all my queens and kings around the globe. I am so thrilled to see each and everyone, and I just want to appreciate Queen Kanla and Queen Lerato. Thank you so much for your presentation and the mindset as well, and thank you for the updates, King Dr. Derek. All right, and Queen Yvonne Finn, if you could please introduce yourself. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you, Dr. Benny. Everybody, greetings. My name is Yvonne Finn, and I am usually and most always the chat monitor, and that's the role I'll be doing today. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Queen Aisha, are you available, please?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Greetings.
Greetings from here. It's been a while. Nice seeing you guys. Happy Sunday. Thank you, Mr. Kanla, for that mind-blowing presentation. And of course, Mr. Lerato and Dr. Derry for the update. Thank you, everyone. Nice seeing you guys once again. I'm so glad to be here with you guys today. Thank you, Dr. Benny. Nice seeing you.
Thank
and
you.
Debbie McCormick. Thank you, Dr. Benny and Yvonne, for making this dream team a strong bond, because we've been absent for a while. Without me being here, you guys are still here. Seeing this group together, I want to appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the wonderful job you do. Thank you all. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless.
Thank you so much. We do understand that Queen Kanla has triple or quadruple a role. So could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, First Lady Dr. Benny. I hope anyone and everyone who has been asking about our First Lady today, they can rest their case. First Lady is here. You have seen her. Welcome. We are glad to see you.
Thank you, Queen Kanla. I appreciate you. Before I say anything else, I just want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing each and everyone. Today, a lot of us lost our parents, but I'm here.
Sorry, Dr. B. I was going to come to that, but it's okay. Just hold yourself. God is in control. Go ahead.
Anyway, I just want us to also pray for those who are under the weather, like Mr. Marty Degamo. Despite the fact that he is in the hospital, guess what? He's still here. Brother Marty, He's everywhere. They want him to stay in the hospital and relax, but he's still talking. But I just pray that God should continue to give him that strength and for him to come back. To all of us who want Chloe to come back and those who are still sick, we pray that God should bless them and give them the strength. Since we know that Unpassive is coming, I mean, I know that the name is going to change. Our CEO is working behind the scene. Let us work together and relax and just wait for him to come back to all of us. In the name of Jesus. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I just want, right now, since this is question and discussion, if you guys have any comments, you have any question, could you please raise your hand electronically, or you can still write your question on the chat, and we are here to serve you. Proceed, please.
Queen Dr. Patient has her hand up. Do you see that, my dear?
Queen, please proceed.
Thank you, Queen Dr. Benny, the First Lady. Queen Kanla said it. She's here live with us. I just want to echo what you said. Sorry for your loss. I know you lost a fatherly figure recently. May the Almighty God strengthen you and comfort you as you weather the storm. And yes, we are all in the dream team here praying for our brother, Marty Digamo, as he recovers. We pray for speedy recovery for him. And we're also praying for our daughter, Chloe, the daughter of our sister, Julie. Yeah, the Almighty God continue to grant them speedy recovery and discernment to their medical team to give the right treatment and the right protocol and the right care as they recover freely and quickly to come and meet us. And to all the presenters today, I really appreciate you. We've heard it. So for me, I don't have any more like a question. I was just going to come and say, Dr. Benny, we are together. Be strong and God will comfort you. Thank you all for giving me the audience to speak.
Thank you, Queen Dr. Pat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Whoever has gone, may their soul rest in perfect peace. And those who are sick, we pray that the Lord should guide and protect them, make them to be stronger, and bring them back to us. Amen?
Amen.
Does anyone have any question? Or Queen Kanla, Queen Yvonne Finn, is there anything on the chat?
Yes, there is. But before I read that, I wasn't aware of why you were absent, so I'm very, very sorry for your loss. And I know that only time will help with that, but we're here for you. We know that, right?
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right. So this comment, there's a lot of comment giving kudos to Queen Lerato, but that's always the case, you know. Especially Mama Edith, she's really glad to see it, and so was I. It was a very dynamic presentation for the mindset, and basically what I got from that was we can't be double-minded. Make your choice and stand by it. That's pretty much what I got from that. So thank you, Sister Lerato. And then as we come to the presentation, I believe Queen Aisha is the first one to make it. She said, by understanding the sources of bias, we can work towards reducing their impact and promoting more inclusive and equitable interactions. And so, of course, I agreed with her. I said, unconscious bias leads to exclusion and alienation from each other, and that's what it does. And let's see if there's any more. I believe you have something there. Oh, yes. You said, Dr. Benny said, where do biases come from? And it says workplace dynamics. That's one place, I'm assuming you were saying, that biases in hiring, promotion, and performance evaluations can create unfair and discriminatory work environments, hindering diversity and inclusion. Unconscious bias, it directly affects who gets hired, developed, and promoted. So that's one take on, you're talking about the workplace specifically, right? Okay, yeah. And then I said, let us control and manage our unconscious biases and treat each other with love and respect. No one is better than the other. And nonverbal cues can sometimes speak louder than our words. Okay, so that's it. And Sister Aisha says, by understanding this, okay. May Almighty Allah continue to rest the soul of the departed and grant their family the strength to bear the loss. Yes. And so I think that's the comments for now, sister, unless somebody else has something to say. That's what's in the chat. Priscilla Cook, sister, she said, stay strong, Dr. Benny. God is still in control, dear sis, she says. So that is specifically for you and what has just happened. Divine healing to the daughter of Sister Julie, which is Chloe. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. We appreciate that. You know, may I just say what I learned? What sister, who said, was it Sister Dr. Patience talked about the role biases, gender role biases. The thing is, we're all created with roles, okay? We might deny it and things are changing. So if the person has no problem with that, it's just when they don't want to be cast in that role, I'm going to ask Queen Kanla, what does she think of that? Because if somebody is okay with being the outdoorsy, doing the yard work or whatever, and they have no problem with that, because I know that there are men who don't want to do laundry. They don't want to do those things.
I don't want to do yard cutting too.
Pardon me?
I don't want to cut the grass in the yard.
Exactly. So the thing is, we can't have a hard and fast thing about that, right? If the person is okay with whatever the role that they're doing, that is fine. It's just when it's thrust upon them, or when people think that you're lower than me, so you should be always doing this thing. That's where the problem comes in, right? It's always about equitable inclusion and lack of comparison and judgment, right? This is the problem we have. If somebody is okay with a role, there's no issue, right?
Whenever I'm putting
Yes.
I'm laughing.
Yes, Queen. Okay, go
can I
ahead.
say something before you step in? I'm laughing because when I said that,
yeah,
then I was doing that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to look at the gift that the person had. I was just looking at the gift.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you there.
I get it.
Because I finally stayed with my niece, and she was that outdoor person. She would be the one that would cut the grass. She would be the one that wanted to be outside.
It doesn't have to be any gender I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the role.
Correct.
You know?
So we're saying that let's not use the gender now to box people.
Exactly.
I was doing that. But when I was growing up, I wanted to be under the cab, changing the cab with my dad.
There you go. Yes.
Like, why are you out there being a mechanic when you should be in here?
You should be in the kitchen.
Yes, you should be in the kitchen with me. So I think what this presentation is teaching me, for me, is that they don't box somebody based on
absolutely
gender. Unconsciously, we do that.
We do.
God sent all of us with a gift.
Yes,
and
He
we
did.
can do our gift happily. But when you start forcing something on somebody unconsciously without knowing, that's that's what I was talking about.
Yes, I know. Therein lies the problem.
I start consciously looking at what my kids are good at.
Yes.
And now consciously I call somebody to do something that I know will do it without grumbling.
There you go.
That's tax for me.
There you go.
I don't call the other person because they'll grumble. So
it's about living consciously and intentionally.
Yes.
That is our point. That is what we need to do.
Exactly.
Be aware of where you are and who you are with, right? And we've become very sloppy in our living. All of us are guilty of that. We just make assumptions and we run over other people. And the particular one that Sister Kanla talked about was the affinity one, where people tend to want to only work upwards. They adore people who they think are above them or whatever, and they run around, and this self-promotion thing always gets me going, because they look down on other people, they try to step on you if you let them, right? And then they only have adoration for people who they think are going to put them in the, what is that called? Reflected glory. It is a problem. And it comes from not living consciously and not intentional and not knowing who you are. You know, this is such a topic. I think it could go on for the rest of the year and you wouldn't plumb the depths of it, my dear. So please do come with more. Because I mean, you don't want to get me started on that, right?
I know. You're right. Yes, it is. I mean,
yes, it is.
It's just a lot. And sometimes even when you realize to yourself.
Yeah.
You use the example of the affinity. Now, the affinity, not only the people you look at, but sometimes you see that even our circle of friends, the influences.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How they tend to be impactful in either creating new unconscious biases or helping us be better.
Yes, it has a two-edged sword. Absolutely. It can work both ways.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And going back to Dr. Benny talking about using workplace dynamics with unconscious bias.
Yes.
I mean, from the beginning process of hiring to even professional development, performance appraisal, and evaluation. Oh yeah, trust me. There, that entire process, no, irrespective of who, whether it's your supervisor or whether it's your boss or whether it's a CEO, there are so many things embedded in between. And if you are not objective, if you are not aware, if you're not informed of these unconscious biases that are along the way with it,
yes,
that is how someone is overpassed for another person.
Of course.
Just because Dr. Bennett talked of promotions, right? When sometimes you just ask, okay, you know that your productivity at work is better than somebody, but yet they are the one who gets promoted.
Yes.
They are the one who gets an increase at work.
Yes. And you talked about those cultural names, and that's a dead giveaway.
They are giveaway.
Yeah, I know.
Someone just listens to your name
and that's it. You're done. You're done.
Intuitively has an issue with your name.
Sure. I know.
Hears you speak, your accent. And even sometimes they may come in conversation, but yet, like you talked of the nonverbal communication. You may have a conversation with them, but you see more what they are not telling you based on the body language or what they're not communicating.
Absolutely.
And before you know it, you are like, okay.
And that's another reason to be so aware and so alert and so intentional and so conscious.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't walk around sleeping. You need to know what's going on around you.
No.
Yeah.
And that is why we cannot talk of diversity, equity, inclusion without an aspect of bias, because all of this is truly who we are.
Yes. And bias is a very serious thing because it can now lead to not just exclusion, but it can lead to abuse, verbal abuse.
Correct.
And it can, in some cases, I've seen it, lead to physical abuse. People get into altercations simply because, of who and what they think the other person is.
Again, which comes back to your assumptions.
Yep.
Of what you know, who you are.
What are you saying, Dr. Patience? I hear you there.
No, I'm saying, you and Sister Kanla talked about the cultural names. I see a lot of people now, they have changed their name to assimilate.
Yes, they have.
And you send your resume, they call you for an interview. Okay.
And you get there.
Based on your review, and you get them like your face or your appearance doesn't fit the name. Because now you're trying to assimilate, you change your name.
Yeah.
Right? I know a lot of people have changed their name.
Yes, they have.
From different culture. I don't want to call it, I don't want to stereotype anything.
Yeah.
And you go in there, they call you for interview because they say John Smith on your curriculum vitae.
Sarah. Laura.
They look at your resume, they see you have the qualification and you have the name. They got in, they call you for interview, you go and they're like, this is not the person we were expecting. So these biases, with this presentation, I want to thank the Dream Team coordinators for bringing up this presentation, okay? It's really to help us. We don't want to be in that position that we need to hire somebody. And if you come to that position now, you will think about this topic. It's okay. Keep my biases out. Let me intentionally and consciously look at this person for who they are.
Exactly.
For what I think they are.
Yeah.
And for me, that's the education we're getting here.
Absolutely. And that's how it should have been in the first place, sister. We should all just be fair-minded. But of course, we're not. We're not, as that's the opening remark from Queen Kanla. Every one of us have those biases of different nature, but don't use them to harm other people because they're our issues. We must live consciously and intentionally and watch them because we all have them to one extent or the other, right? My name is Yvonne Finn and my daughter's name is Megan Finn, and people are always expecting somebody else when we show up because it's a nice little Irish name or French name or whatever. It doesn't say anything. It's not a cultural name. It's not. Yvonne Finn, you don't expect to see this 5'8" Black woman. And same thing with my daughter. She's 6 foot and she's Megan Finn. They're expecting a little Irish girl. She's not, right? And a lot of names are like that. It's not necessarily, it's the flip side. What you're saying, some cultural names, they give where you are from away. And right away, you're just not going to get it at all. But then the other way is true too, when they can't define what the name is, and then you show up and then they don't know where to put you, right? It's just not supposed to happen like that. It's fairness, DEI, whatever, right? Right, Queen Kanla?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Dr. Benny repeated a question which I had on the slide. Where do these biases come from?
Okay, where is it?
Yes.
Oh,
and let
okay.
let us reflect on that because it's going to be what we will attempt to answer in our next session.
Okay.
Because we will discuss more so we can better understand how these biases come about.
And
But I know we mentioned already is
yes,
your brain, your mindset from your background, how you were born, where you were born. But that's not all.
No, it's not. And Queen Aisha has a comment. She says, lack of exposure and understanding, limited interaction with people from diverse backgrounds can lead to misconceptions and biases. Of course. Of course. If you just stick to your own, there you go with the affinity again. If you just stick to your own little group and you never interact with other people, of course, lack of exposure and understanding, limited interaction with people from diverse backgrounds can lead to misconceptions and biases. We know that's true. We know that's true. It's us against them, right? And they do this and they are that. You don't know until you meet the person and you speak with them, right? You can't tell. So yeah, thank you, Queen Aisha, for that. Thank you.
Queen Kamla.
Yes.
I first of all want to thank you for this topic. It is happening all over the globe.
It is.
When it comes to this bias, especially at the workplace. I have seen it. It happens every day. But sometimes we just have to be strong. Take it easy. They say, oh, you have an accent. Where you coming from? Oh, I used to get upset. But then I turn around and say, hey, you have an accent too. Where you coming from? See, where you coming from? So this is how I behave. So they can't play with me anymore. You know that, right? Well, another, it comes about gender, age-wise, and then when it comes to your size as well, when you go to an interview, they will not give it to you. It is not really fair, but what can we do? That is why 90% of most of our ladies from Africa, they go to nursing school. Because if you want to work somewhere, well, let me say where I work, it is very difficult for a lot of us to get an opportunity, especially when it comes to our names and the accent that we have. But I sometimes, I know I'm not supposed to be angry. I used to, one day I tried to ask my father, our father, please forgive me. But I said, why did you create black, white, green, yellow? I asked him, or even though some people say don't ask, but it is stated that you can ask him. I don't see him, but I ask because the discrimination is unbearable. All right. But what can we do? Anyway, I'll take it easy.
Queen Benny, don't get me started. Don't get me started. But it's all good. You know, if you know yourself as a child of God, you know your foundation, you know, and as you said, Queen Benny, I had to come quickly to that resolution, not to be angry. Okay. And one situation I told them, I said the same thing I said, we all have an accent. An accent is how we intonate. We all have different intonation from different upbringing, from different environment, from different exposure, from different languages. Some of us speak multiple languages, right? So our intonation will be different. If you were brought up with the French language, the way you pronounce the English thing will have some of the French, let me call it accent for a better word, intonation behind it. So you know what I told them? I said, if I can understand you, you can understand me. I said, you know what God did for us? He gave us 2 years. You can learn. If you engage your 2 years, trust me, you understand me. And one of my boss always reminded me of that statement. So patient, you know, when you said that, when I reflected, and we now talk to each other and we don't say pardon 20 times. Because it was like pardon. I said, you're not paying attention. I said, there are two things. Either the subject matter is above your head. Just tell me to slow down, because you know when you get excited in your subject matter, you speak fast. I said, Americans also speak fast. Just tell me slow down. That will slow down and break it down for you. If you cannot understand the subject matter, don't start talking about my accent. Just ask or slow down. I said, I would rather you say pardon me. And then when I said that, we both started understanding each other. I said, why didn't I understand you? You have a different accent from me because I make that effort to listen to what you are saying. Just tell me slow down if I'm fast. If the subject matter is above your head, I'm willing give you an introduction, a one-on-one on it. So since we are cross-functional partners, we can work together. And trust me, that has worked for me. It wasn't in a bashful way or trying to fight, but in a way that we need to communicate. Because effective communication is to try to understand each other.
There you go.
Yeah. We are going to be diverse. We're going to be different.
Yes.
And God made that so it is not boring. One boring to monotone kind of communication.
Absolutely.
After I said that, a lot of the people have started calming down. I'm not hearing a lot of the pardon. It used to be funny because we'll go to this is a topic that we laugh, but it's serious.
Yes, it's very serious.
No, I mean it's serious. It's serious.
We go to well, if you're in the pharmaceutical industry, to have any drugs or any assay or anything like that approved, it has to go to the Food and Drug Administration. We call it FDA. So sometimes you have to go defend yourself, or not defend, maybe have a communication with them. I used to remember they would tell me, okay, patients, you'll be in the room as a silence attendee. Like, okay, no wahala, I'm going to be here as a silent attendee. And the Food and Drug Administration in my field, they have a lot of people from a particular place and background. Trust me, I'm not going to be calling, as I said. And they have the particular way they speak. And I'm like, you can hear them, you cannot hear me. That's not okay. That's not a problem. And when they ask questions 2 or 3 times, the person that's supposed to be my mouthpiece could not answer, and I'll be trying to write it down. Now imagine me writing fast. I cannot even read my own handwriting. Okay, I cannot read my own handwriting. And you're trying to read what I've written. And one of my bosses said, "This is nonsense. Patient, can you just speak? Say what you're doing?" I laugh, but that has happened so many times.
I'm sure.
That they said, but she did the work. Why can't she present? I have cousins, brothers that have faced the same thing. Senior partners in businesses, when they go to a business venture, they'll say, okay, give us a slide, we'll present it because of your accent. Okay, he give. They present. When the question and discussion come, any question you turn and ask Dr. so and so, can you answer? I don't want to go. Then he's the one answering the question. And the business partner is like, can he just take over? It looks like that is his work. So this unconscious bias is real.
Yes, it is.
Let's educate ourselves and not be people that perpetuate that, okay? Because we could do that without realizing as well. So,
absolutely.
Thank you, Queen Kanla, for the education today.
None of us are immune
Dr.
from it.
And everybody for the discussion.
All right. If we don't have anything, do we have anything else? Or,
yes, Queen Aisha has one more thing. Mind-blowing presentation, Sister Kanla. She says, thank you for bringing to ourselves a reminder of how to be conscious of our decision while waiting. And I guess she's talking about waiting for unpassive. And then you had a comment. You said it's a magnificent presentation, Queen Kanla, and you love this topic. And so you're thanking her, of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I hand it over to Queen Debbie, the reason why I am concerned with this topic or what is happening in the world with the discrimination, that is why we just need to stay put, hang in there, and just wait for our CEO. Because there are certain things that I know I can't take, but I know that if I can relax and wait for our CEO, then when I start receiving the money, I will not go back to work. Seriously. No, because I'm tired.
Yes.
So let us just relax and wait for our CEO to come.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Hand it over to our moderator, Queen Debbie. Thank you.
Wow. Coming after all the comments that you've all made regarding today's presentation and the updates from yesterday, I don't think I should add anything because it would just be to negate it. So I'll just endorse what we've shared so far. And since there are no more comments, we want to appreciate those who have joined us. Queen Sister Dr. P, you want to close?
Yeah, and let me just announce the meeting. They can close YouTube. Yes, thank you all for joining us in YouTube and the people that are in the Zoom with us. Don't forget to attend all the sister platform and any other platform you can attend. But the sister platform that get the same mindset, which we really push for that because it's really grounding us. We have on Monday, I think Queen Miriam is doing Mindset Monday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, you have Deep Dive Globally Changing Life, 2 great mindset speaker. And then on Tuesday, we have our First Lady keeping us secure on the internet. And on Wednesday, we're learning about our health. Thursday, there's various things we're doing. As for the moment, Pierre is taking a break. You know, Julie is taking time to take care of her daughter. So Pierre Empowerment Humanity is taking a break now. When he comes back, we will know when to announce. Then Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, join the Yvonne we call them the Dr. Yvonne and our Queen Sister Yvonne Finley. There's a lot of different topics. Don't forget on Thursday morning, 6 correct me time, at least it's gone now to 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
That's right.
Passion. Passion. There's a good topic there. And I don't know whether the financial series has ended, but please join them. I always say that if you don't have a passion, you go to that webinar, you will find a passion. And the whole culture of Unpassive was for us to lend a helping hand to the underprivileged. So if you don't have anything, you don't think of anything, go there, you think about something. There's a lot even around you that you don't know. So join them on Thursday in the morning. Then I think we're back here on Friday. No, back here Sunday, see me. With Dream Team at 12:45 p.m. However, there's a prayer altar. I may announce it, praying for Unpassive and the community. If anybody wants to join, reach out to Queen Yvonne, Queen Lerato, or myself, Queen Debbie. They will direct you how to join the prayer meeting on Friday. It is at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at the moment. Thank you all for coming, and over to you, Queen Debbie, to close the YouTube, and then I'll stop the recording. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And we appreciate all those who are joining us here live on Zoom, and especially our YouTube viewers. We appreciate you joining us religiously each time we have webinars going on, and you comment. That's very commendable. We appreciate that as well. Please continue to do so. We thank you, and we thank those who will be watching in the future, and we hope that we see you again. Have a blessed Sunday. Bye
Thank you,
to our
Queen
YouTube
Debbie.
viewers.
I just want to remind everybody, thank you, Queen Rose, for what you do on the YouTube, keeping everybody honest. We appreciate you, and we love all the work. I know you're writing back and saying great presentation on the YouTube. Let's send a shout out to Queen Rose Motip in South Africa. So, Dr. D, you can shut down YouTube. Thank you.